So very quickly again, my name is Adeolu Akinyemi, and I'm excited to be the one facilitating today. I'm always on the lookout checking if who is around, who is coming. Maybe they'll start transferring PVs to me, I don't know. But I'm always excited to talk about this opportunity. And today I want to take us a little bit of a different slant. I want to spend a significant part of today's conversation talking about the product. Okay, so many of us have a range of products, the Rida range of products. And these products, we all know from the positive feedback we're getting from people taking care of various things. I have all sorts of pictures on my phone. I have pictures of melanoma cancer, and the person's face and body restored to normal after using Rida. I have someone's picture with breast cancer, with the wounds really bad at the beginning, and over a course of 3 months, everything is looking like it's healing. Everything is looking almost close to normal. These are not pictures that I should get, but because of the value of what this product does, people are excited about what it's doing, and they just send those pictures in. We have testimonials on a variety of issues. Many of us who are not doctors by background have become doctors by proxy, or pharmacists by proxy, based on the information we have had to learn and pick up based on how this product has been giving phenomenal feedback. Now, I'm going to talk about the product today, even though my major drive in this business is about sharing the opportunities, about creating distributors, it's about getting people on board to drive this. Because the company has chosen strategically not to empower the normal channels of distribution. The company is saying, rather than sell the normal way of paying a lot of money to advertising agencies and then getting key distributors to drive the product, the company is saying, let's have a model where the product gets to the market by the referral of people who come in as small-time distributors, and they are able, to get plugged in and to do stuff based on, referring their friends. The person who's supposed to present today is telling me he's alive. So let me just quickly let him know. Apparently, the team of presenters need to be telling each other, this is, we're the ones doing this today, and this is what we need to do. I think I'll give you a lot of feedback on that when I'm done with this. Okay, so I guess he probably missed it, and he didn't know he was presenting today. So the company has said, you know what, rather than, this is the typical way companies go. And 20 years ago or 19 years ago, I started working for a company that is one of the biggest companies within the fast-moving consumer goods space globally. Okay, I worked for this company, and what the company does is very simple. The company spends dollars in advertising. The company empowers key distributors. So for this company I was working with, we had at that time about 10 key distributors in Nigeria. The average one was doing business of about 1 billion naira turnover. They were big on their own space. The company didn't need smaller distributors, big distributors, and big advertising spend, and the company sold their products. And I'm sure you have one of the products of that company in your house, and you probably don't know the distributors. You probably even don't know who advertised, but you just saw the product was good, and then you took it on. This company has decided, you know what, rather than empower those normally big channels, we want to empower everyday people who are willing to start a business with ₦1 million, or willing to start with $500,000, who are willing to start with even smaller than that. Now, the beauty of this is, world over, the world is going to realize that the strongest recommendation for any product is the recommendation of a friend. That is when a friend talks about a product that people get to buy it. And because it is recommendation of a friend that the product moves by, this company say, you know what, rather than spend huge advertising dollars, rather than spend money on flyers, stickers, and all those kind of things, why don't we take this same money, make it available as reward that distributors can earn from referring others? 2 days ago, someone called me and said, this is what I do. This is my service. And I said, fantastic. And I asked the person, who do you do business with and all that? And the person gave me their details. And I said, you know what? I have a company that I know that needs those services. I'll connect you if you would like to do. And the person said, thank you. I'm so grateful. So I said, send me your profile. I'll send your profile to them, and then they'll contact you, because they actually told me that they need this service. They wanted me to offer them that service, but I've been looking for somebody who I know that does the same service so that I can refer them, because I don't have time. Now, this person is a corporate professional. This person may have beef for network marketing and say, I don't want to do that kind of network marketing. But guess what? That person, I'm referring them to offer value somewhere now. They've not told me how much they will pay me. They probably have no plans to pay me anything. If I ask to be paid something, it will look like, can't you just help somebody? Meanwhile, I don't think that's a fair model. I think it's a fair model that recognizes you for connecting others to the opportunity, and it's a fair model that recognizes the fact that anybody that person finally connects with that person, I'm still connected to it. This model that the company is using is a fair model, and is a model that empowers everyday people to become more. World over, go and Google this. World over, it is known that this industry has created the highest number of millionaires in dollars, of people who did not have, who did not have $1,000 before they started, who have made it into the millions. This business is a business school. This format, network marketing, is a business school for people who like to help people. And don't kid yourself. If you really like to help people and you want to learn how to do business, I want to grow in that business understanding, this business model is one of such that can help you to take that journey. So if you're here today, I'm going to talk about the product, I'm going to talk about the opportunity, and I'm going to talk about who is making it available to you so that you can participate in this. Now, the product we already know is good. What I want to spend a little time on today is, why is the product good? What exactly does the product do? And what gives the product, the permission or the opportunity to do those kind of things? So I'll talk about those things today. And I'll talk about a little about the model to say, look, this model is created to empower people. Are you being empowered? Are you looking for an opportunity to make extra income today? If you are doing business today, if you're a career person, you probably know what's going on at work. You probably know whether they are reducing salaries by half, whether they're divided by 3/4, whether they are negotiating payments. You know what is going on at work. If you're an entrepreneur, you know what is happening to your business. Now, there are businesses that are thriving in this time. There are businesses that are not thriving in this time. Don't kid yourself and say, this is my business line. No, you don't have a business line. Your children don't care your business line. What your family cares about is, are you bringing in sufficient returns to be able to take care of the family needs? Now, this area is growing in leaps and bounds. And why is it growing? It's growing because it's within an area where people need at this time. People are more concerned about their health at this time. People are concerned about their immunity at this time. If children will go back to school, we need to think about their immunity. Not when they want to go back to school. We need to start building their immunity now before they leave the house. Okay? So that when they go to school, they can be strong. If whatever comes across their way, they can be able to manage it, etc. Okay? So you have those, kind of things going on. So you need to, this is time when people are thinking about hygiene, thinking about using the right products, to be in the right place to do the right things. This is when all of that is happening, that we need to pay, good attention to. So today I want to talk very quickly about the product and the capacity and the potential of the product to help people with their health. So I'm sure you probably have seen this proposal that was sent out a while ago. It says immunity booster for the vulnerable, Marvel Natural Products. One of the companies that is partnered together with Green Mondays is Marvel Natural Products, and it produces the Rida range of products. If you look at the logo tells you, about it being African. The logo tells you about it being made from herbs. The logo tells you about, from Africa to the world. Basically offering the world the beauty, the color, the ingenuity, and the originality that is available within the African space. And of course, this product is the joint effort of a team of people made up of distributors, made up of staff, made up of a number of companies who are pitching on their own values, so a spectrum of what is required for this business is here. And it is truly, truly Nigerian in the sense that we have Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba, all of us are one in promoting and pushing this across the world. Rida is an immunity booster for the vulnerable. Anybody who cares about their health, Rida bitters is something to pay attention to. And why exactly does this work? Now, I'll start from the testimonies, positive to negative on COVID-19. We've had the opportunity of getting a few testimonials of people, documented cases of people who have used Rida. Some of the people who contacted COVID-19 virus and while on isolation increased their dose of Rida bitters and turned negative after 2 weeks. We also have a myriad of testimonies of contact with COVID-19 patients while remaining uninfected by family members, and some of our customers that are in frontline medical practitioners in the war against COVID-19 across the world. Okay, while it's too early to make bold claims, we believe we have an immunity booster that will serve our local communities and Africa at large. And this is not just hocus pocus. This is scientifically researched. This is something that has data. This is something that not only are we getting positive feedbacks, not localized in a particular environment, but across the country and across the world, we're also enjoying the opportunity to know why does this work? Okay, why does this work? Why is this powerful? Why is this strong? Why is this something valuable that people can take on? So of course, we have testimonials from different people. These are just a few faces representing the plethora of distributors in this business. You have Dr. Deron there. This is an amazing range of products. I've witnessed too many testimonies. Chinwe Chilaka is in the meeting with us today. She says, I've used the products personally and I recommend to friends. I receive thank you regularly. Pastor Lere says the efficacy of the product makes you want to tell everyone. I have personal testimonies and I have many from my friends. And of course, we have Peace Ibrahim Ajayi from Canada, who says the products are awesome. I have testimonies from my children and customers. It's exciting sharing about the products from Canada. So these are the possibilities. Now, this is something we're proposing to government agencies and providing different bodies. And I'm showing you this because this is an opportunity. And many times, opportunity doesn't become apparent to people because they say it's dressed in clothes that look like work. But there is opportunity. And somebody can hit their gold mine in this business from building a team gradually or from even getting a big deal at some particular instance. So there are many people in society who can't afford. So there are people that can afford. We have a 20 million captive market audience that can afford to buy this on a regular basis to ensure that their family's immunity is boosted, that they're staying healthy on various ailments, back pain, body pain, headache, and variety of things. That category can afford. There's another category that the government needs to be taking care of. It's a category of people that are vulnerable in society, that can't even afford it. They're elderly, they already have preconditions, and somebody may be willing to pay the money to support them to make it happen. We can stop this and we can help people to live. Rida is not new. Over 500,000 Nigerians have already used and gotten access to Rida range of products. And the key benefit is that lives can be saved, and we're going to take another of 20,000 cartons from any intelligence agency or country as well. And I'm showing you this as an example of how big a deal this is and how exciting it can be. Okay, beyond COVID-19, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot more that the world needs to be afraid of. Okay, and this is beyond. Before COVID, we did a research and we realized that the number of diseases around the world are actually growing in number. Okay, so when beyond COVID-19 happens, when another pandemic in the future, when something else comes, what will be the answer? Okay, that today the world is at war, and the war is not with other countries. The war is for health. The world is in a big challenge. Health just became the world's #1 priority, and we are smack dab in the middle of that. What else should we be afraid of? Okay, research shows that 17.7 million, most of the population of people, almost the entire population of Lagos State, die of cardiovascular diseases every year. Okay, 17.7 million. This makes up to 31% of all global deaths. That's about 1/3 of all global deaths happen from cardio diseases. These are things that Rida helps you to tackle and do well because it takes care of oxidative stress. Compare that to 28,000 people killed by Boko Haram since 2011 till date. Okay, that is what times what? This is 228,000. Try and get to 17 million. You're going to multiply that by, 500 essentially. You're going to multiply that by 500 to get the number of people that die per annum. Okay, this year on 17 on cardiovascular diseases. Many more die from infections, COPD, diabetes mellitus, cancer, and several other diseases. So, at a major chunk of another 1/3 plus, you have people that die from some of these challenges. 95% of the world's population lives on one ailment or the other, while 1/3 of the world population are experiencing more than 5 ailments at the same time. So let nobody kid you, let nobody deceive you. People have real challenges. People are going through real heartaches. There are real problems out there, ladies and gentlemen. It is real. Okay? And if it doesn't cause you to be afraid, I don't know what else will. But guess what? You don't need to be afraid because there are solutions to some of these things. Now, scientists are at work. People around the world, it's not only about vaccine for COVID. People have been thinking, how do we solve these challenges? How do we cure? How do we make this happen? How do we solve the ones that are incurable and bedeviling in the world and the new ones that are suffering every day? Previously known pathogens are developing resistance to existing medications. As I speak to you, they are undergoing genetic transmutations. Environmental pollution is on the increase. So the things that create oxidative stress, your ozone layer is depleting, pollution is on the increase, diets are becoming unhealthy, people are resorting to, fast food, nature is becoming tampered with daily by sciences. The impact of all of this on global health is best left to our imaginations. Okay? Now, if you look at the disease spectrum, some diseases came to the fore recently, and some are projected to come into the future as well, that they have not taken ground, they've not gotten their opportunity to showcase themselves, unfortunately. Hepatitis C came in 1989. Okay, West Nile virus was discovered in 1999. SARS, which is a variation and a version of COVID, became known in 2003. Okay, chikungunya came in 2005. Swine flu was noticed in 2009. MERS, which is also a version of influenza that like COVID-19, came into being in 2019. Ebola came to limelight in 2014. Zika in 2015. COVID-19 in 2020. Diseases are coming regularly. Many of them scientists, rush and see what they can do. But we have something very exciting that has always had the possibilities and the challenge and the capacity to take care of a variety of these things. Scientists are anticipating that new diseases like leishmaniasis, Rift Valley fever, or Rokpuche Mayaru. These names sound like the names of demons. Okay, Elizabeth Kingia are to emerge this year and next. New diseases that were not previously predicted can also come as well. Psychosomatic disorders, mental illnesses, loss of sexual function are on the rise. Ladies and gentlemen, the world is facing significant problems. Orthodox medicine, why orthodox medicine is busy, and we give kudos to orthodox medicine. Orthodox medicine is busy trying to find active solutions to some of these problems. Okay, they are researching solutions. Every medication has its own side effects. So even though they are researching and they are coming up with things, we discover after 20 years that the drugs we took for malaria also affected our fertility and is a reason for many people's erectile challenges. There are still many diseases outside there without solutions. The question is, what about herbal remedies? What are your thoughts about herbal remedies? What do you think is on the horizon? And ladies and gentlemen, let me make you aware of this and let me warm you up to this exciting reality. Okay, that guess what? We've always had with us herbal medicine. Ancient man had always known, okay, and always been involved with herbs. Ancient man had always known that herbs was a way. We depended on herbs, from the Garden of Eden. Okay, it was about herbs. It was supposed to be for our food and for our health. Before the advent of technology, man survived by creating decoctions and concoctions of other poultices. The early apothecaries, the people who are helping with health, started out from being botanists, started out from herbal science. Interestingly, my grandfather was a botanist and it was a herbalist, not an Ifa priest, but a herbalist, who actually decocted and used, medications and herbs for childbirth, for people giving birth, for people having issues, for babies turning in the stomach if they were breached, for a variety of things. And interestingly, somewhere around the age of 60, when the foreigners came, he learned how to read and write. And he was one of the first people to actually settle down and document about 3 cartons full of herbal combinations of how to solve various challenges. Okay, so I'm giving a little bit of insight into my own family legacy and history. But essentially, around the world, if you do your research, herbs have always been, available not only in Nigeria but across the world. What we have missed is the value that Africa can bring, because somewhere in our colonization, we just basically gave it all up. Okay, so quinine comes from cinchona. Ephemericin comes from Acacia, penicillin comes from Penicillium. From time immemorial, the global flora and fauna have been the foundation of medications and drugs. Okay, something interesting happened in that space to change the direction of things. For example, senna, which exists one of our herbs, is an accepted medication. Likewise, the age-old arachis oil. So there are a variety of herbs that can be utilized for a variety of problems and solve a variety of things. Now, the world knows that while Asia is not bowing, Asia is not saying, Asia is unapologetic in pushing their own roots. All of us have in Nigeria today, we have Panax ginseng. All of us today are taking ginger, there's garlic. These are very strong Asian herbs that have basically gotten into our normal lives. Several other herbs like St. John's wort, valerian peppermint are still actively used as adjuncts in pharmaceutical preparations across the world. And of course, Hippocrates, who is the father of medicine, was known to start out as a herbalist. So, ladies and gentlemen, what the world is waiting for and what the world doesn't have is that Africa is yet to arise. At this age in history, the world is an unveiling of a previously unknown medicinal activity, not from Europe and not from Hippocrates, who are from America, from the Europeans, not from Asia, but from Africa. Okay, many of us understand, if you read a little history, you know that civilization started from around Africa. Somewhere along the line, we lost the grip of that leadership. But guess what? By turning back again to what we have within Africa and Sub-Sahara, we can begin to show the world again a way to find their feet in these murky times. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Africa to arise. All eyes on Africa today, and this is where we come in with Rida Herbal Bitters and Rida range of products. Because guess what? These products have amazing capacity, have amazing possibilities. If you do research and read up on them, you'll be excited at what you find, and you will be excited at why it works and why you need to be a part of this groundbreaking opportunity. Ladies and gentlemen, why does this work? And should you be bothered about this? And I like this reasoning. And the reason basically is saying, look, while conventional medicine is still trying to grapple, while people are trying to start finding scientific evidence, should people die? Or should we get values that we know exist and begin to drive with them? Scientific evidence is growing that diabetes can be subdued, that cancer can be prevented, but by regenerating the cell and revolutionizing the whole organism, not by treating symptoms like most medicine, will do, but by going to the roots and revitalizing the cells. So the concept of oxidative stress, of having antioxidants clear out the challenges that are happening at cellular level and solving them, is beginning to become popular. Now, some herbs, and that's why some herbs are useful for several diseases, because they go at the cellular level. They stick with, and for the purpose of explaining this, let's stick with the concept of oxidative stress and antioxidants and nitrogen donation as a way of understanding what exactly is going on scientifically. And while people need to begin taking care of their health before they understand, I tell people, you don't need to understand how electricity works before you can take advantage of it. You don't need to understand how AC works before you can enjoy the cold. Okay, while all of that is something that we will grasp with time, can we take advantage and be at the cutting edge of something that is about to become phenomenal? And I'm going to end with this conversation today very, very briefly. If you are still hearing me in the house and you are enjoying me, can you say yes? Let me know you are enjoying me. I want to quickly describe what oxidative stress means to me. Okay, if I have a few yeses in the house, I will proceed. Okay, great. Now, as many of you know, I'm an engineer. So engineering is my background. It means I'm a thoroughly a scientist. Okay, I kicked off everything that was available to do with physics. I did chemistry. I started with biology. It was in one of the courses that I did. So I'm a science thinking person, science logic person. Now, like I said, my real interest and drive for this is the distribution, is ensuring that we can have 1 million people who are distributing these products and whose families are earning passive income and earning financially well on the merit of the fact that this product is being distributed around the world through them as a platform. But as a scientist, okay, there's a very interesting basic thinking that I'd like to share with you today, so that I can understand what exactly does oxidative stress mean and how do these products help with oxidative stress. Okay, I'm going to explain that very quickly. Now, what exactly is this thing called oxidative stress, and how does it come about? What exactly is going on when they say oxidative stress? Okay, thank you. I can see that my people are listening. I can hear yes. Some people are being locked out and they're coming back in aggressively to get to hear about this. Now, I'm going to break down the body into an engineer, into a machine, so that I can understand this. I'm an engineer, so I'm also a teacher, so I like to teach and break things down. So as a human being, in order to live and survive, what do we need? We need food. We need food and water, for our sustenance. We need to take in something to eat so that we are sustained. Now, I'm sure if I ask you that question, you'll have said what we need the most is oxygen. But I'm going to come to oxygen in a bit and tell you what exactly oxygen does. Now, when you eat, so I take a piece of meat, I take bread, I take gari, I take whatever I take. Once I eat, there's what happens in my mouth. My food is mixed with saliva and a process called digestion starts. So you have peristalsis movement. So in my buccal cavity, the food is mashed. It is rendered into a surface that allows the saliva to be able to work on it and allows it to be able to go through the next process in this human machine that God wired together called human body. It goes to my esophagus. In my esophagus, you have what you call the peristalsis movement, which is a churning movement happening to the food, further breaking it down into a phase where the stomach can, with the gastric juices, begin to take the next activity on the food. What are all my juices doing to the food? They're trying to break it down into a format that makes it easy for it to be assimilated by the blood. Now, this food is finally going to the blood. Why? Because the blood is the transport system of the body. So the human body has a transport system that basically carries passengers, and the passengers in this particular case is food. It carries passengers from one position, from the stomach to the small intestine. All of the values of the food is being drawn out so that it can be assimilated in the blood. And once it gets to the blood is transport. So the blood transports the food across the body. Now, while the blood is transporting the food across the body, and you can watch that motion, it's like trains, buses, cars, bicycles, different sizes, moving across the body, this blood needs fuel to be able to carry the food around. Now, the food is broken down into its last bits of sizes. Usually, you have glucose. At this level, you have glucose. You have a few other elements that is called fructose and a variety of things. But glucose, essentially, is the energy value that the food finally gets broken down to. The blood carries this around the body. As the blood is carrying it, the blood needs fuel. And that fuel is what we breathe in, oxygen. So this oxygen goes to the body and finds its way to oxygenate the blood system, fuel it, and allow it to be able to carry food around the body. Now, while the blood is carrying the food around the body also has a telecom system. This telecom system is a way by which the cells communicate with the passengers, with each other. And essentially, as the blood is carrying the food around the body, the cells are saying, give me my own. It's been a long time I ate last. Send me my food. Give me my glucose. Give me my glucose. The cells are demanding for their glucose. And the blood is carrying that around. Now, as the blood is carrying the food around, it goes around, the oxygen is utilized, it gets the oxygenated, we breathe out. We take in more oxygen to fuel the system, and guess what? This blood is moving in the body per day, the equivalence of moving around the earth about 3 times. The journey that the blood travels, going back and forth, is a lot of distance. And the fuel it needs is a lot of fuel, okay? And guess what? As this is carrying on, the body is supplied, cells are demanding, and every cell is supplied food, and then the food that is supplied goes into the cell. The cell has the nucleus, it has the mitochondria, it has a number of things within the cell that basically accept the food, take it to process, and use it for the duplication process of each cell growing, and that's how we grow. Now, guess what? The same way when vehicles are traveling around in normal parlance, there's some emission, there's some waste. This happens to the human body as well. So some of this oxygen in the blood gets to fall off, essentially, and they become radicals. When they drop off, these oxygen atoms drop off, they lose ions. And when they lose ions, they become radical oxygen species. When they become radical, they become destructive. Because everywhere they attach to, they are looking for that electron that they lost to gain it back. And in place of looking for the electron they lost to gain it back, they look for cells and basically begin to damage cells. And once the cell also has lost an electron, it also becomes damaged. It's looking for the electron. And everybody's looking for this electron, and it's causing a lot of ripple effects in the cell, causing cellular damage, causing cellular damage. As that increases, you have what you call oxidative stress. So there's a lot of oxygen radicals in the body. There's a lot of cells in the body that are suffering some kind of imbalance of not having enough electrons. And they're looking for this because otherwise they keep on destroying. And when cells make up tissues make up organs make up systems. And once you have damage in some of those places, you have damage that can lead to a variety of challenges in different organs of the body, depending on where this is affecting. Now, what do antioxidants do? Antioxidants basically come into the system and say, we have surplus oxygen, we have surplus ions, surplus oxygen ions. We can take out the deficit you have. You don't have to destroy the cells. And for the cells that have already taken damage, we can also help you repair so that we can begin to repair and reorganize at the cellular level. Now, once we have a lot of reorganization and reorganization happening in various cells like this, somebody says, my skin that was looking like this before is beginning to get better. My eyes that could not see very well before, I see that I'm seeing better. This pain that was having at my back before, I can see that I can feel the pain no more. This diabetes, blood sugar that has been rising high before, I can see it's coming low. This high blood pressure, because every organ of the body responds differently to this gradual dying process called oxidative stress. So somewhere, what Rida and the range are strong in is in these antioxidants that are able to donate and are able to ensure that all the mess of oxidative stress are mopped up. And then there are ingredients in the mix that also help some of the enzymes in the body and some of the functions in the body work better at even also policing itself, because the body also has its own policing system normally of being able to clear these things. But because a lot of stressful things are happening to the human system these days, it is usually too much for them to mop up. They need backup. So what Rida offers the body is a backup. It's an immunity backup. It's a supply backup for mopping up the stress of oxidative stress. If you understand oxidative stress a little bit better based on my engineering and societal analysis, can you type in there, I get it? Okay, so if you get this, so what basically this says is, once this is something that is beginning to be solved, yeah, then you begin to realize that a number of other problems get solved with it. So now we can still without antioxidant. Of course, they also call it. Some people also describe it and say it is. They say it is nitric oxide donation. So it's what science currently understands. This is how science understands it. So for people that think, how can one thing be solving so many problems? How can one thing be taking care of so many things like this? No, it's very simple. It's taking care of it because it's taking care of it at root level, at cellular level. And once it solves those problems at cellular level, testimonies and data, preclinical data shows that this was likely to happen. So until human beings get more insights, yeah, we can begin to enjoy these solutions and overcome illnesses. Somebody is asking, what about the safety of the plants? And I asked them very quickly as well, what about the safety of spinach, ewedu, okra, egusi, and those things that we are normally eating without checking what's the volume? But guess what? As an extra test to show that yes, maybe because they are mixed together, even though we eat abula, we have begiri and we do mix together, both herbs, and we don't worry about it. We've gone an extra mile to ensure that toxicity tests are done to establish, are these toxic for human consumption? Does this affect people negatively or does it not? And guess what? Rida has passed the test. It is not toxic. It is good for human consumption. We've done brine tests, we've done shrimp tests, we've done toxicity tests, we've done National Institute of Medical Research, do research. We've had partnership with university biology and bio, what's it called? What's the unit now that is involved with human genes and we have somebody doing research with us for us abroad. We have a company, we have a university group that are partnering here with locally as well to ensure, do tests, let's know what are these things able to do, what is this showing preclinically. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen, we are currently also even now doing clinical trials. There are only 2 herbal products in Nigeria that are at this stage that we are in. Okay, some have sold for the past 34 years. And I know because people have come to me with herbs that they've been selling for 34 years and they said, please come and help us sell it. The way you sold it for that person, can you come and sell it for us as well? We've been selling it for 34 years and we've not achieved much with this because what we need is distribution capacity. We have value, it solves problems, but we don't have distribution capacity. Ladies and gentlemen, we have something that has not only gone through preclinical, it's currently going through clinical trials. It's not required for herbal supplements, but we are doing it because we realize that, this can also become something that people can speak more confidently about. And we're currently here in the expanded safety category. This is where we are. Ladies and gentlemen, I make bold to announce to you that we're on the cutting edge of something that will become phenomenal. I'm going to share more about this when next I have an opportunity to present, but I'm going to pause it here now and say to you that if you are here today and you are not involved in this opportunity, find the person that told you about it and get involved. Ladies and gentlemen, the testimonies are abundant. If I allow people to share testimonies today, we will not leave here. But guess what? Today is not that day. So I want to leave this with you, and I want to let you know this is amazing. This is something that will become, it will be an organization that is worth billions of dollars, and you being involved will be on the cutting edge of a space where through you, other people get to join this, and you can earn. And guess what? As a distributor, if you want to invest in this and be a part of the company as well, you can as well, so that you make money from the fact that you're having referrals, you make money from the fact that you are plugged in with the company, you make money all the way. And ladies and gentlemen, this is real. The feedback is amazing. The earning system is amazing. It's a fair model. It's a fair model that says whatever work you do, you can reap from it. Your children can reap from it. You can hand it over to your children's children. Yes, you can build something for a few years and get it going. I know a man, and this man is going to come and speak with us on Wednesday. and announce to you. On Wednesday, we're going to have a private opportunity to have a conversation with a man called Don Filer. Yeah, you got that right. Now, Don Filer built a network marketing business over 24 years. And he was able to build an army of 1 million people in his team. And those 1 million people came from 4 people that he signed up. So the father of the power of 4, we're going to get him to come on Wednesday to have a small conversation with us. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, he's an American. He's in America. He's living a good life. He's currently about 90 years old. He's still very much involved in the industry. He's still very excited, still very exciting. It's unbelievable. Ladies and gentlemen, this industry is an industry to be in. While many companies have lost money in this time, distributors are earning. The company is soaring. The world has realized that the biggest thing that they want to solve in the world today is health. Plug in. Get in at VIP. VIP is 750,000 naira. Get in at VIP, show you are serious. I spoke with someone today, and the person said, I want to invest. I want to invest in the business. And I said, if you want to invest, you need to be a distributor. And he said, what's the minimum level I can do? And I said, the minimum level you can do if you want to invest 1 million, 2 million is gold, silver. He said, I want to invest 5 million. I said, that's VIP. And he said, send me the account details. I want to pay. He said, what are you saying? Are you saying I'm going to pay 5 million for the investment separate and then 750 for VIP? I said, exactly. He said, do I pay to the same account or will you give me 2 accounts? I said, I'll give you 2 accounts. I'll give you the account that you pay for your VIP. Why? Because he can see the opportunity. He can see where this is heading. He can see where this is going. And he says, you know what? I'm not a networker. I don't know how to tell people. But give me the highest value. Give me this. I know I have products. I know I'm losing nothing. And I know, where this is going. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, if you have done things before and you regret because you took people on a journey to take a risk that didn't pay out, okay, apologize to them and tell them, I've done that before. I didn't know what I was doing. I've seen something now that in the next 10 years, you will regret if you don't join me. And I'm sure, I'm serious about this. 10 years from now, you're going to hear me tell you some things. 10 years is too long. 3 years from now, 5 years from now, you're going to hear me tell you some things and you will say, is it from that business? And I'll say yes. And then I'll tell you some other things. You say, is it from that business? I'll say yes. And then you will say, but you didn't tell me like that. You didn't tell me like that now. You'll have told me like that. You'll have forced me. I'm sorry, we couldn't force you. We can only share with you passionately and tell you that, yes, we've made mistakes before in the past where we have tried to sell things that didn't work out. This is working out. And this, we have our backs covered here in this one. We're not partnering with anybody who we are giving 10 years agreement. No. We're doing this. We're building this one by one, organizing it all together, learning from the errors we've made in the past. And this is something that will be phenomenal. Now, Canada is open, US is open, UK is open, India is opening. The world is our performance stage. Let's get on board. Let's drive this. This is amazing. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I want to say today. No testimonies today. We'll share testimony in the 6 p.m. session. I look forward to seeing you then. This is where I drop the mic.